Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Fix my hat, man. So, Charles Martin and AJ, Kambosos and Haney. We need to ask the question, man. I'm just paying attention to this and seeing what's going on. There's some similarities between when Charles Martin fought AJ and Kambosos fought Haney. Now, if you aren't aware of who Charles Martin is, he, even now, is a heavyweight contender, but at one point, he was a heavyweight champion. He actually had a belt. I should have looked it up. I believe it was the WBA, right? But anyway, he won that belt kind of by default in a title eliminator fight with the guy who was fighting had this like freak accident and hurt himself and couldn't continue. And as a result, Charles Martin became the heavyweight champion of the world. Think I'm joking? Go watch it on YouTube. He didn't dominate the guy. The guy wasn't necessarily dominating him. It was only a couple rounds. I think like 4 or 5 rounds, maybe. And the guy just, I don't know what, I can't remember what happened. He just, some freak accident. And everyone just looking at him, he was hurt. And he couldn't continue. So anyway, Charles Martin was kind of given a heavyweight title. So fast forward. Charles Martin, he feels he's on top of the world. He's saying he's the king. He's got this big funny-ass hat he's wearing. Or it was a crown or whatever the hell he had on his head with those dreads. And Eddie Hearn, being the smart man that he is, saw an opportunity to get Anthony Joshua his first heavyweight title. Now, this is the thing, right? I don't know if you guys have ever been, how many of you guys are, like investors, whether it's real estate, guys in the stock market, or, you're trying to get involved with crypto, or even if you were out there house shopping or shopping for a car, right? Sometimes, when you see something that's a deal that's really good, really juicy, and you start second guessing it for some reason or trying to get an even sweeter deal than what's presented to you, and then someone else comes through and they sweeps it up, and now you're all pissed off because you missed out on an opportunity, just procrastinating, right? Eddie Hearn wasn't going to make that mistake. He knew Charles Martin couldn't beat Anthony Joshua. So he immediately got into talks with Charles Martin, said, hey, we want to fight you. You're the champ. What are you looking for in regards to pay? Charles Martin and his team, I think Eddie Hearn must have offered him like $5 million. Charles Martin, I don't know if you guys know this, Charles Martin got paid $8 million for that BS fight against AJ. He sold that title, man. $8 million. Changed his life forever. So after that, AJ got the title, and the rest is history. Two bumps and bruises. A little bump, 2 bumps in a row with Ruiz. Got another one here with Usyk. Hopefully he can get beyond that. But that won't be easy, okay? But anyway, long story short, Anthony Joshua held on to those titles. He didn't sell them. Even when he fought Ruiz, he didn't sell those titles and give them to Andy Ruiz. When he fought Usyk, he didn't sell those titles and give it to him. I think he just overthought a few things, got a little greedy in the fight with Ruiz, and just really, I don't know what the hell he's thinking about in the fight with Usyk, but he made a correction with Ruiz and trying to make the correction with Usyk. But Anthony Joshua did not sell those titles. He's trying to hold on to them. He likes being the unified heavyweight champion. He has no problem paying those sanctioning fees, but he's making real money, so he could care less. But it still got to suck. So Charles Martin's career didn't really do much, did it? He just kind of disappeared. Had a couple wins. Had a big opportunity against Luis Ortiz. Got knocked out. He was winning that fight. So I think Charles Martin has improved since the AJ loss. But he's never going to get back to the top because this man made so much money for nothing. It's kind of hard to it's like, I'm sure you've all heard the saying, it's kind of hard to wake up in the morning and run 5, 8, 10 miles when you're waking up in silk pajamas. And Charles Martin, Not gonna say he didn't earn the right to make that kind of payday, but he's a boxer, and I'm glad he was able to see that kind of money. But I just don't think the hunger is there. I think when that 8 million dries up, then you may see the hunger kind of present itself again. But at this moment, I just don't think. I think the hunger he lost that hunger when he made that money. So he sold the title. Anthony Joshua didn't. Now Kambosos came, clipped Teofimo, won all those titles, right? Then he came to Australia to fight Devin Haney, and Kambosos. It wasn't a Charles Martin versus Joshua type performance, but this is the similarity between the two fights. Kambosos made $8 million. Kambosos, in my opinion, sold his titles. He wanted the biggest fights because he said he wanted the biggest challenge. Now, this man wanted Lomachenko initially. He wanted the money, and he got paid at least $8 million, right? Kambosos got paid at least $8 million for that fight. So he sold those titles because if you look at what he did in that fight, he didn't even give didn't give himself a chance to win. Now I don't even think he really tried much. I think he just got discouraged and was just like, whatever. There's a rematch, and I'll just fight him in the rematch. I'm already making minimum 8, probably more like 12, $15 million what this man made. So now, Devin Haney, he should get in the ring and clip Kambosos, no problem. Kambosos is still going to win. He's still getting the lion's share of the purse in the rematch. That's just smart negotiating, smart business, right? So again, selling the titles, right? He knew he was going to make at least, like 20 to 30 million for these two fights with Devin Haney. Okay, it is what it is. Now, my thing is, Devin Haney should get in there and clip him in a rematch. But this is my thing now. Is Devin Haney going to be like AJ and hold on to the undisputed distinction, not just unified, the undisputed distinction, and keep fighting and winning and fighting the best and winning? See, AJ fought, his resume is crazy. The only blurb on AJ's resume, in my opinion, is when Eddie Hearn, him and DAZN tried to, pretty much take advantage of Deontay Wilder and Deontay Wilder's team instead of giving him the respect as a champion that he deserved. That's what I think. That's what I think is the only blurb on AJ's record, in my opinion. He should have never done that to Deontay Wilder. Had he not done that, I would be giving him a lot more respect. But if he would have fought Deontay Wilder with the type of power AJ has and the mentality he had before the Ruiz fight, it's a good chance Anthony Joshua would have knocked out Deontay Wilder, because just the size, both about the same height, reach about the same, power relatively close, and AJ was a lot more aggressive. So he would have came out to shoot firing, and we know Deontay Wilder can't fight in the back foot. But if that fight was happening now, not so sure. But nevertheless, AJ fought the who's in the heavyweight division. Now, Devin Haney, is he going to be like AJ? And is he going to fight the who's? And is he going to actually go out there to win? Or is Devin Haney going to look for the biggest name he can fight and sell the title as well? Sell those undisputed, sell the undisputed distinction, just like Martin sold his title to AJ, just like Kambosos pretty much sold his titles to Haney. Now, I don't think Haney is that kind of person. I think Haney's going to want to hold on to those titles. I think Haney would relinquish the titles and move up and wait before he just went in the ring and was able and call for, like I say, a $25 million payday and get it, and just basically say, you know what, F it here, give my titles away. I just don't see him doing that. Haney's not like that. But we got to wait and see, because when you are making that kind of money, sometimes things happen, man. Now, the difference with Martin, Kambosos, and Haney is Haney has more potential than those guys. Charles Martin, he was all right, but his ceiling was like, here. C plus level fighter. That was his ceiling. He'll never get to be, an A-rated type fighter. You know what I mean? Just just wasn't going to happen. Kambosos, his ceiling was more like a B plus, B minus, maybe. So his ceiling wasn't that high, you know. Better than Martin's, although they're different weight divisions. You know what I'm talking about. But Devin Haney, his ceiling is way up there. The man's like A plus. That's how amazing he is, how smart he is in the ring. So Devin Haney has a high ceiling. So Devin Haney, if he bets on himself like he did going to Saudi Arabia, going to Australia, Devin Haney can win a lot of fights against a lot of big name fighters. And if he stays disciplined and boxes smartly, he's going to win. Doesn't matter if he doesn't have one punch knockout power. He got something there, because guys just don't want to run in on him, do they? Because first he's got the speed, he's got the movement, and he's got enough pop. Now Floyd Mayweather had more pop than Haney. Floyd Mayweather could knock you out. He just started having those hand problems. Even with the hand problems, nobody ran in on Floyd Mayweather, and he has more pop than Haney. So they knew not to just run in on Floyd. But I think it's the same thing with Devin Haney. He gets in the ring, he gets respect. You will get hurt by Devin Haney if you're running there foolishly thinking that he can't hurt you. Devin Haney will hurt you. So going forward, I'm very interested to see just how Devin Haney handles himself. Is he going to sit there, man, and really say, you know what, let me give up the belts and move up another weight division and go all out? Or is he going to sit there and try to cash out and then get on cruise control like Charles Martin because he made all this money? But I just don't think that's the case. But there are some people suggesting that, hey, Haney could be the next to sell his undisputed distinction or just unified title, so. But we'll see. But I don't know. I don't think that's the case. But I'm looking forward to see what happens after Haney beats Kambosos. We do know Lomachenko is back in training. If you didn't know that, Lomachenko is back in training. I think he's going to have a fight in October maybe. And then after that, it could be him and Haney hooking up for that fight for the undisputed distinction. Okay, so if you didn't know that, now you know. I'm going to do another video on that probably tomorrow, man. I'm about to go upstairs. I got to get up early and take my son he has basketball practice at 6:45 in the morning, man. So I'm going to get ready to go relax and do that. But Devin Haney, talented fighter. These other guys, all right fighters, man. Kambosos did a great job against Teofimo, but he sold those titles, man. He did. And he's making life-changing, he made life-changing money in this first fight. Gonna make a hell of a lot of money in the rematch with Haney. And then after that, who knows what George Kambosos' career is gonna go. Don't be surprised if he retires. Because why fight anymore when you're sitting on 30 million? Unless you just really have a dying passion for it like Canelo Alvarez. Man, what's he sitting on? Like 400 million, something crazy? And he's still out here fighting like he's never achieved anything in boxing. Like he's still selling ice cream, so. But that being said, I'll go ahead and leave it as that. Some similarities there that I'm seeing. I think Devin Haney is different from the rest. I think he's more like AJ. He's like, you know what? I want to fight the best, and he's gonna go all out. But he hasn't proven himself to be that kind of person yet. But from what we've seen, the way he's conducted himself in and out the ring, he's all about legacy. He's all about making history. He's not all about selling his soul or selling his titles or his undisputed distinction just for this handsome payday. Devin Haney already has money, and it just doesn't seem to be cut from that cloth. But that being said, voice your opinions in the comments. I appreciate your support. And as always, I'm in the breeze.